When Claire appeared, Ethan began to gradually forget me. He forgot how he'd skipped classes and gotten into fights for me, and forgotten staying all night in the dance studio watching me practice. The boy who'd never touched alcohol now downed drinks for Claire without blinking. The reckless racer who'd promised me he'd value his life pushed his car to flaming limits on the track for her. The day I decided to leave, he came tearing off the racing circuit, blocking my path with that signature daredevil kiss against his smoking car. His eyes burned crimson as he demanded, "Why?" I knew someday he'd forget even my name. So I released his hand, smiling through tears to bid farewell to my childhood sweetheart. "It's all right. Go. Love the girl fate chose for you. Aren't white moonlight memories meant to be forgotten?" Ethan had joked when he first saw Claire, don't know why. But my heart skips a beat around her. My fingers stiffened, lips pressing tight. I knew why, because she's the protagonist. We'd grown up together for 20 years. Neighbors calling us inseparable. Contrary to his name meaning modesty, Ethan became everything his family despised: a rebellious street racer, brawler, and rule breaker who only heeded me. I discovered our world was fiction while packing for abroad. That stormy night, drenched like a stray puppy, Ethan clutched my hand begging me not to go. In my dream, I saw the truth. Ethan was the male lead, Claire the heroine. My role? The tragic white moonlight dying in a plane crash to motivate their love story. The forgetting began during a family dinner, when elders teased about Ethan skipping school to fight my bullies. He frowned. "Did that really happen?" My eyes stung. "Ethan, is your brain broken?" He dabbed my tears, joking weakly, "Maybe, my heart's been acting strange lately." Soon he forgot more nights guarding my dance practices, our shared memories dissolving like smoke. This was the world's correction. My Ethan, who no longer belonged exclusively to me. Claire caught my gaze, offering a saccharine smile as she raised her glass. Before Ethan could turn, she blocked his view with murmured words. I fled, clutching my mouth, fingertips coming away wet. When Lucas called, my advisor was urging me to accept the elite opera house exchange program everyone coveted. "I'll consider it," I murmured, staring at my shoes. Lucas' panicked voice crackled through the receiver. "Ethan's in trouble. Claire had provoked a rival team. They'd nearly stripped her when found. Now Ethan was gambling with his life on the track, vowing to race till death." I arrived numb to find Ethan already speeding past. Claire rushed at me weeping. "What if something happens to Ethan?" I slapped her mid-sentence, the cracks silencing the crowd. "If he gets hurt," I hissed through clenched fists, "you'll pay." My nails dug bloody crescents as Ethan's car roared by in smoke-spitting streaks, tail sparking flames. "He's insane," Lucas breathed as Ethan took a death-defying curve at full throttle. The gut-wrenching centrifugal force nearly flipped his car, but he emerged ahead, having outcrazed his opponent. Ethan stepped out grinning, until he saw me. The smile died as he lunged forward, hand faltering mid-reach. His glare at Lucas confirmed who'd alerted me. "How much did you see?" he rasped, ignoring the question. I met his eyes. "You promised." The color drained from his face as he gripped my sleeve. "I remember," he whispered. He remembered, yet risked everything for Claire. "Then we're done," I said softly, gently prying his white-knuckled fingers open. My childhood protector, the boy who'd skip class to fight my battles, now lost to me. Ethan's eyes reddened, jaw clenched tight. The crowd gaped at their golden boy brought low. But I turned away, leaving the man who'd taught me some flames burned too fiercely to hold. Everyone fell silent. Only Claire dared to call out, unable to bear watching. I turned and entered the car, digging my nails into my palms. I fought back tears. His fists pounded the car door, and the sound grew muffled. Lucas started the engine. "Leaving?" he asked. I nodded mutely. Through tear-blurred rearview mirrors, The white racing headlights refracted into dazzling halos. Ethan's own car had been totaled. He'd stolen his rival's vehicle, smashed through the barriers, and now raced down the slope parallel to us. When our cars drew even, he turned. Blood crusted his bitten lips, and dangerous intensity burned in his gaze. With reckless laughter, he accelerated past in a shower of sparks, executing a perfect 180-degree drift that blocked our path with his car's crumpled front bumper. Lucas slammed the brakes. Still, we kissed bumpers with Ethan's wreck. My breath caught. One wrong move on that downward slope and he'd plummet backwards. Yet Ethan kept inching toward the edge until I choked out stop. Silence fell. His knuckles rapped my window, and fury melted into raw vulnerability as I emerged. Ivy. I began, flexing my trembling hands. The university's offering exchange program placements. I'm leaving. Ethan gripped my wrist. His eyes bloodshot. Why? How could I explain? That I couldn't bear watching him forget me? That seeing him embrace others would shatter me? Claire's perfect for you. I forced a smile, wrenching free. Go to your destined girl. Before I become just a fading memory. His tears fell hot and sudden. This boy who'd never cried through whippings or crashes. Ivy. His voice broke, fresh blood welling where he bit his ruined lip. I'm starting to forget you. When his thumb brushed my cheek, it came away wet. Found the reason though. He whispered fiercely. No one takes you from me. Cold fingers interlaced with mine. Logic screamed to flee this doomed storyline. Yet looking into those desperate eyes, I chose fire. I believe you, Ethan. Even if it meant crashing like moths against fate's flame. Ethan didn't tell me what deal he made with Claire. He only mentioned that when Claire kept appearing around him constantly, he sensed something was off. Claire told him she was this world's female protagonist sent by a system to complete a mission once accomplished. The storyline would conclude and everything would return to normal. Life seemed unchanged except Claire's persistent presence between us. I lacked the magnanimity to endure her constant proximity to Ethan. I drowned myself in dance rehearsals from dawn till dusk. One late night after changing out of my leotard, I found Ethan leaning against the doorway, his eyes crinkling when he saw me. He seemed unusually cheerful as he pressed a finger to his lips, pulling me silently across the rooftop where we collapsed breathlessly onto the concrete. The moon watched as he led me to a cardboard box in the corner. Peering inside, we found a striped kitten sleeping peacefully. Found her on the street, he murmured. When I looked up, Ethan was gazing at me with quiet intensity. After a prolonged silence, he coughed lightly, pressing a hand over his heart. Ivy, my heartbeat finally belongs to me now. My own pulse roared in my ears. Had Claire completed her mission? Or was I imagining things? Ethan's lips still curved upward as he murmured drowsily. Just let me rest a moment, Ivy. But when the moon dipped below the horizon, I couldn't rouse him. Ethan was hospitalized. Multiple organs were failing inexplicably, as if heaven played some cruel joke. Through the smart glass of the ICU, I watched his still form until Claire approached behind me. Such a pity, she sighed. He nearly succeeded. My fingers froze. What do you mean? She joined me in observing the unconscious figure. Our world is actually a novel. You, the male lead's White Moonlight, were supposed to die in last year's plane crash. But you stayed. To stabilize the storyline, Ethan must forget you completely until he loves me instead. Her victorious smile sharpened. He mentioned our deal, didn't he? The pieces clicked. Ethan had tolerated Claire's presence at banquets, shielded her during races, all to accelerate her mission completion. I told him my side quest was accumulating romantic points. Claire admitted, feigning pity. The system made his heart race whenever I appeared easy to mistake for attraction. Though I did trade my protagonist's aura to erase his memories of you. My blood turned to ice. You lied. Half-truths. She shrugged. But his cells keep resisting the memory wipe after regaining bodily control. Hence, she gestured at the hospital bed. Leave. And I'll revive him minus any recollection of you. Deal. I rasped instantly. Before departing, I asked her a final question. What's your real mission? Claire's smile vanished. Survival. Every completed mission extends my life. She tapped her temple. The system's counting down above my head, 3 months left. If Ethan dies now, my countdown accelerates. So rest assured, I'll keep him alive. Her parting words lingered. No one escapes the storyline's correction. His memories of you will fade, just as autumn leaves abandon trees. The monitor's flatline alarm pierced the silence. Through the glass, I watched Claire's composure shatter as medical staff rushed in. Her desperate screams echoing down sterile corridors, the protagonist's perfect facade crumbling amidst chaos she couldn't control. With everything laid bare, Claire no longer felt the need for pretense. Collect Ethan's affection points. If Claire succeeded in gathering Ethan's affection, she'd complete her mission and he'd fall for her. Otherwise, Ethan wouldn't develop feelings. But to resist forgetting me, he'd remain comatose. I closed my eyes. This was an impossible dilemma from the start. I bid farewell to my Ethan. The ICU reeked of antiseptic. Encased in protective gear, I couldn't even touch my boy one last time. After long moments. Isn't that the hotshot racer? Ethan Taylor. My blood turned to ice water as I followed their gaze. Since when do you follow motorsports? Ivy? No wonder they recognized him. The checkered flag armband and racing stripes made him a walking advertisement. Ethan glanced our way beneath his baseball cap. Our eyes met. Every molecule in my body froze. 7 years since our last meeting. I'd dreamt countless reunions where he'd look through me like a stranger. Those nightmares always left tear-soaked pillows. Reality mirrored those dreams perfectly now. Ethan's obsidian eyes showing no recognition. Lips pressed in detached indifference. Vincent's timely arrival broke the spell. Cars ready. As circulation returned to my limbs, I chastised myself. Pathetic. Ivy. Absolutely pathetic. The moment our eyes met from a distance, I could barely hold back the tears. Throughout the victory party that followed, I remained distracted. Though I hadn't actively followed Ethan's career over the years, fragments of his achievements had inevitably reached me. 7 years of consecutive F4 championship victories culminating in his current status as one of China's elite F1 racers. The media's golden boy of motorsports had recently dominated headlines. His brilliance now is widely recognized as the brightest star in the night sky. The early summer breeze carried an unexpected chill as I waited for my designated driver. Nursing a drink and clutching my coat. Vincent, our ballet company's principal dancer who joined 2 years before me, was seeing off other company members. Let me drive you home, he offered, his voice always maintaining that considerate distance that made him everyone's ideal gentleman. I declined. Phone already displaying the arriving driver's details. Text me when you get in, he conceded. The model of restrained courtesy. We had this dance since that night a year ago when he'd asked after curtain call. Ivy, would you consider giving us a chance? His proposal had been as flawlessly timed as his pirouettes. Yet I'd refused. The night wind stung my eyes as I gazed upward, remembering how they say meeting someone extraordinary too young ruins all future encounters. Everyone else remains just everyone else. The collision occurred at a deserted intersection, our car shuddering from the impact. My driver peered at the rearview mirror. Rear-ended. I think. Before I could react, knuckles rapped my window. 7 years. 556 days. 61. 344 hours. They say every cell in our bodies replaces itself in that time. Yet seeing Ethan's face inches away through the glass, countless sleepless nights came rushing back. All those dreams where his laughter still echoed as clearly as yesterday. Streetlights cast sharp angles across his face as he leaned against my car. That familiar half-smirk playing on lips that once whispered promises against my temple. My apologies, he drawled. Midnight eyes glinting. Poor visibility. The absurdity almost made me laugh, the champion racer claiming accidental contact on an empty 6-lane road. We exchanged contacts with clinical efficiency. His fingers brushing mine when passing the phone. His profile showed blank. As expected, ID scorched earth deleted everything years ago. The realization that he'd truly forgotten should have shattered me. Instead, I sat numb in the back seat, tracing the cold phone edges as my driver departed. He called 30 minutes before my Giselle curtain rise the next evening, when I was sweaty and makeup streaked from final rehearsals. Busy. Talk later. I clipped, surrendering to the makeup artist's brushes. Backstage jitters melted as the overture began, transforming me into the peasant girl who loves beyond death. House lights dimmed to reveal him, center orchestra, black shirt buttoned to the throat. Every inch the aristocrat contrasting yesterday's reckless racer. His ticket fluttered like a challenge as he caught my gaze. That damn smirk widening. My train of thought shattered. Choked by his verbal grenade, I wordlessly turned toward home. In subsequent weeks, Ethan became a fixture at our theater. With our dance company's increased performances, he occupied front row seats nightly, yet never initiated conversation. Our occasional lobby encounters yielded only curt nods before passing like strangers. I deliberately ignored the specter between us. Claire. What had transpired between Ethan and Claire? When I'd left years prior, Claire had been triumphant. Now she'd vanished. Had she abandoned Ethan after completing her mission? Or something darker? Tonight's performance blended international and locally adapted works, our signature style. Well received thus far. During intermission, I took position beneath the central chandelier, crucial to Act Two's choreography. The lights flickered erratically instead of brightening. I moved to evade, but invisible shackles rooted me in place. Whether my panic showed or divine timing intervened, Ethan vaulted from the audience, tackling me aside as crystal shards rained down. Chaos erupted. Company members swarmed as Ethan shielded me, his breathing suspiciously controlled. I'm fine, he insisted, though his rigid arm betrayed him. The canceled performance brought apologies and refunds, helping Ethan rise. I glimpsed Claire standing frozen in the crowd, her gaze arctic. Understanding dawned. Tonight's accident bore her fingerprints. At the racing team's medical facility, Dr. And scolded while examining Ethan's shoulder. 2 weeks until championships and you're pulling stunts? Fracture? Maybe not. CT scan now. The physician's tirade shifted toward me. Can't you see he needs help changing? Useless. The lot of you. I bit back retorts, assisting Ethan into hospital garb. My gaze snagged on newly revealed ink along his waist. Summer. The word burned my retinas. What meaning did it hold? Post-MRI. I cornered Dr. N. Ethan's withdrawal. What happened these 7 years? The physician sighed. After his accident, he began forgetting his lover. That tattoo? For them. When memories fully faded, rage and agitation took hold. We prescribed sedatives. But racing regulations, he spread his hands. Addiction developed. He forced detox to keep racing. The revelation left me reeling. All my theories, Claire's abandonment, terminal illness, lies crumbled to dust. Ethan found me statue still in his recovery room, mistaking shock for guilt. He smiled tiredly. Really? When did you recognize me? The question burst forth. When did you remember? Ethan Taylor's expression faded, his lips tightening into a straight line. No. I didn't remember you. Ivy's eyes dropped in disappointment. But a year ago, I found that confession letter you'd bound. To be honest, I felt nothing when I first read it until I saw you again after my therapy session. That day, I missed the ballet performance Dr. And recommended. yet encountered you outside the theater. My heart finally found peace, followed by overwhelming emotions bursting forth like spring shoots. I didn't even need to search, your name leaped out from the playbill instantly. His fingers brushed over the tattoo hidden beneath his shirt at the waist. A faint smile tugging at his lips. The rebellious spark still lingered in those phoenix-like eyes. For a moment, Ivy glimpsed the Ethan from 7 years ago. The withdrawal symptoms after forgetting were because of you. So only you could cure them. Dr. And shipped Ethan off overseas for F1 Grand Prix races. His hand injury turned out to be minor, just a sprain needing rest. Thank God he wouldn't miss upcoming competitions because of Ivy. Back at the theater, Vincent Brooks stopped Ivy. Do you know Claire Chen? Ivy nodded, surprised he'd mention her. We were acquainted. A week ago she auditioned for the company. Ivy explained, but failed the preliminary round, her basics were too poor. Vincent massaged his temples. There was something unsettling about how she looked at you that day. But theater cameras showed the chandelier fell naturally. Maybe I imagined it. Ivy thanked him sincerely. The lack of evidence didn't surprise her. Claire had boasted about her system. She wouldn't risk direct confrontation. 3 days later, Claire stormed backstage and threw liquid at Ivy. Vincent intercepted, the security team tackled her instantly. Ivy checked his soaked shirt, no burns or odor. Just water. Thank God for theater security checks. Claire's wild hair framed bloodshot eyes. Why? She screamed. I'm the heroine. Why strip my system over one mistake? 7 years of effort and Ethan's affection stays at 0. The principal dancer role was mine, why steal everything? Ivy remembered her arrival 7 years ago as an exchange student, her dancing must have been excellent then. But what's that to me? Ivy countered calmly. Ethan forgot me completely until finding that letter last year. You had 6 years with him. As for the audition, maybe you should reflect on why your skills deteriorated so badly. When people pin hopes on others, disappointment follows. Claire could have shown through her own talent instead of chasing Ethan. Ivy took Vincent for medical checks. While waiting, he asked quietly, is it that guy from the dressing room? Ivy's teeth clenched remembering Ethan's lipstick smudging antics and fake engagement story. Still, she admitted freely, yes. My first love. Lasted years. I'm sorry, Ivy began. Vincent waved it off with a smile. You've performed Giselle. Ivy. Love's purest when unforced. My only regret is meeting you too late. He resembled Hans from the ballet, the gamekeeper whose pure love went unrequited. Ivy's heart had no room left. After final tests, Ivy requested tomorrow off through Vincent. We're still friends? He called as Ivy rushed out. Of course, Ivy answered, though Claire's zero affection comment lingered. The race Ethan was competing in would begin tomorrow. And I wanted to see him. Right now. All F1 tickets had sold out weeks ago. Dr. And had saved me a grandstand pass, ushering me into the paddock. By the time I arrived, the session was about to start. Even though this was merely a practice round, the massive stands remained packed. The countdown blared through loudspeakers, sending fans into roaring cheers. When the cars shot past our section of the track, their aerodynamic shells sliced through air with piercing shrieks. Within 10 seconds, the lead car had already disappeared around the first bend. This practice session lasted only an hour. Ethan's performance stayed consistent, though during lap 10 he nearly collided with a spinning car ahead that had blown its tire. It wasn't until after the afternoon's second practice that I finally found Ethan alone in the lounge. Dying sunlight gilded his hair through the window as he sat motionless, still wearing his racing suit. A lighter spun restlessly between his fingers, his lowered lashes casting delicate shadows. He typed something rapidly on his phone. My device buzzed instantly with his message. Hearing the notification, Ethan glanced up. I walked over and plucked the lighter from his hand. Ethan. No smoking. I sighed. His eyes crinkled with suppressed laughter, lips quirking upward. Those long lashes fluttered as he lifted his gaze, dark irises glimmering. But I've missed you terribly. I felt myself drowning in that look. From my luggage I produced a crumpled mint plant. These grow quickly. Whenever you miss me, no smoking. Chew a leaf instead. A calico cat yowled from the corner before darting under the bed, clearly disliking the herb's scent. It took me moments to connect this plump creature with the scrawny kitten Ethan had rescued from a rooftop 7 years ago. Perhaps this feline had been his constant companion through countless races when I couldn't be there. Ethan accepted the mint sprig with an amused tilt of his mouth. Deal. Our eyes met again. And the world stilled. How arduous is love. Even if the universe conspired to keep us apart. Even if every memory of him could be erased. Every cell in my body would still resonate for him. Others might interfere with our survival or recollections. But no one could ever govern my thoughts or emotions. Were I to forget him 10,000 times? My very essence would still guide me back to him. The next 2 days kept us separated as my dance company flew to Paris for performances. Between relentless rehearsals, I could only catch glimpses of race highlights during meal breaks. Ethan narrowly missed pole position during qualifying. His fastest lap merely 0.1 seconds behind the leader. But during Sunday's main event, starting second, he seized the racing line through the final corner's apex. Spectators later said every fan in attendance, regardless of allegiance, erupted in applause during that overtake. When he claimed his first championship points and podium of the season, I wasn't there to see it. On our Parisian stage's final night, house lights revealed Ethan sitting front and center. Our eyes met as he flourished his ticket, a mirror of when he'd first reappeared in my life. During curtain calls, my smile found him in the darkness. Over the years I'd graced countless stages, played leads and understudies alike. But in life's grand theater, I'd finally found my co-star. Ethan never abandoned our script despite every obstacle. Never exited stage left prematurely. Like me, he kept charging forward at life's crossroads, straining every fiber to close the distance between us.